And here we go back with another episode of Let's Not Argue with myself and Mr. Sean Thomas, CEO, owner of Go Vegan Philly, the best new vegan restaurant in Philadelphia, voted by you. And it's at the time of this recording, is the Monday after the weekends of the protests here in Philly, in Minnesota, in Atlanta, all over the country, all over the world, really. One thing that the news hasn't really put out there. There's protests in London. There's protests in Iran. There's protests everywhere. Protesting the police brutality stemming from the murder of George Floyd in Minnesota. And I think Sean is over there trying to give us some background music. But but I want to bring in Mr. Sean Thomas. Man, how you doing, brother, with everything going on, man? How's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing great and getting better, man. You know, it is what it is.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Yeah, we like I said, we're coming off the just 24 hours. There's still some protests going on today. As of today is Monday, June the 1st. Still protests going on today, and I've talked to people that were down at the protests, and I went around, took some pictures of some of the things that were going on from the looting and stuff like that here in Philadelphia, here in West Philly in particular. But I'm just going to get right into it, man. It's been an interesting couple of weeks for black folks in general, really. Starting with with what I shouldn't even say starting with, because the comments from Joe Biden with his interview with Charlemagne about if you vote for Trump, you're not black.
Right.
The what's it called? What they call her? Central Park Karen or something like that. Calling the cops on a black man, weaponizing the police force. Breonna Taylor being shot, and that whole situation, which is crazier by the day. And then, of course, Eric Floyd, the one that's really gotten a majority of the attention. Eric Floyd, excuse me, I keep calling him Eric Floyd. George Floyd. I did that on another show, too. George Floyd, who was murdered right there and for everyone to see in broad daylight on the streets by the Minnesota police force. And with all that going on, there's an inordinate amount of attention on black folks right now, and it's what we do with this attention really that's going to order our steps for the time being. Really, so many things going on. But with all that being said, Sean, I just want to bring you in real quick, man. With all the things that happened over the past couple of weeks, because we haven't talked in a couple of weeks. What have been your thoughts and your reactions to some of the things that have been going on?
Well, first, you got to understand that, this has been going on, for a long time here in America and around the world. Every action is going to get an equal and opposite reaction, So, some things are expected. But what's interesting to me is, there's never been mass protests or mass rioting in America like it is now. The only time that's ever been seen or done was when Martin Luther King got assassinated.
Sure.
Any time before that, demonstrations only took place where the violation happened. It's the black man get killed in St. Louis, then St. Louis riot. Nobody outside of St. Louis riot. If it's or protests or whatever, if a person get violated in Philadelphia, then Philadelphia, handles the demonstration after that. Only time that has ever happened where it happened all throughout America and multiple places is when Martin Luther King died. And that's understandable because Martin meant so much to so many people in America. So when they took him, so my thing now is, what is this all about? Where they really provoke people to push people into wanting to protest all around outside of the place where the violation happened and want people to riot and loot outside of the place where the violation happened. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's something to this. You know what I'm saying? And I tell black people, you know, to do what I like to call, you know, watch for the hook. You know, you got to watch for the hook. You know what I'm saying? If we go back to Rodney King, the Rodney King verdict, Rodney King beating him verdict, you know, during that time where they were rioting and looting in L.A., they locked up approximately about 18,000 black men, and 10,000 of them never been seen again.
Yeah, how about that?
Or heard from.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So they, you know, I'm smart enough to know that they set these things up, man. They set these things up.
And,
you know what I'm saying? They could set up. Go ahead.
There's something that, with all that you said, I gotta give you a lot of credit for something that you said in the last show that really resounded with me. Because in this situation is a situation where, you know, I would be, I couldn't say I would be mad, but I would definitely be mad in a sense of disbelief, angry, right? But I was, but I tabled that, and because of something that you said in the last show, you told me, you said don't get mad, don't get angry, because when you get angry you get, the more vulnerable you are.
That's right.
And that's something that, honestly, like I said, I gotta give you credit. That's something that I'm going to hold with me the rest of my life. It's such a simple thing, and it's something that we know, but I think the fact that I heard that just hearing it from somebody,
anger is like, it's like, just like you drinking the poison and expecting it to hurt the other person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do anything. Anger doesn't do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we're human. You get angry, but it should be just really, really quick, and you get over it. Really, really quick, man. But it's like, you know, drinking poison and expecting the other person to die from the poison that you just drank.
And something that when I think about that, I think about the video that's been going around, and you've probably seen it. The two black gentlemen talking to each other. One is 40-something years old. One's like 31 years old. The 40-some-odd-year-old man he's pissed. He's angry. And the 30-some-year-old man is also angry, but you can tell he's tabling his anger. The 40-some-year-old man isn't necessarily tabling his anger. And then they bring in the young fella in there as well. He's angry as well. But to see the contrast between the man that is angry and the man that was the man that was showing his anger and the one that was tabling his anger.
The moment you let your emotions get the best of you, you can't see things clear.
Absolutely.
The picture gets really, really foggy. Really, really foggy. You cannot see things clear. You have to put your emotionalism to the side. Emotionalism, you got to put it to the side. You have to so we can see this thing. It's like, I'll give you an example. It's like, you know, hypothetically, they call you tonight and say your baby just been killed. Your daughter, your son just got killed. Okay. All right. Now you got to come down and, you got to identify the body so we can make sure for sure that this is your baby that we got here on this table. Most people, they emotionally get a hold of them. They crying, they snotting, they hysterical, and they go in there and they see their child and they just it's just craziness, right? Now, what can happen is, and happen a lot of times is through that, right? Nobody says, all right, well, let me open the body up. Let me see if the body still got my baby organs in it. Because we know y'all like to take organs. But because you're so distraught, you're so emotional, you're so into that moment with crying and that, you're not even thinking about that. You're not even thinking about that. I tell people all the time, it should be one person designated in y'all family that's not emotional, that can handle death, as best as possible, and designate that person to go view things either by themselves or with people, because somebody has to be the thinker. Somebody has to ask decent questions. We lose our decent question and our critical thinking when we get emotional.
Yeah.
It just explodes right out the window. You know what I'm saying? And then, this is how you ever get into an argument with somebody and y'all so angry and y'all just cussing and fussing or whatever you're doing. And then the next day you think of stuff that you should have said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, damn, why didn't I say that?
That's what happens. You got so angry, you got so caught up and so emotional a day or two, and some people a week later and then they got to call you up because they got to say that. They got to say what they forgot to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to say, and another thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that was 4 days ago.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you got, in the moment, you wasn't calm enough to even think of those decent questions that you wanted, those other things that you wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? So, because everybody, they know you're working on these emotions, and once they triggered, it's 0 to 100 real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my thing, is like, you got to be able to master the art of hearing the truth without no bitterness.
Absolutely.
So that you can take stuff in, be able to process it, and then ask the decent questions, man. It's the greatest thing on the planet, man. It's a question.
Absolutely.
And, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, to shift gears just a little bit with some things that are going on right now in a lot of cities across America, and cities, the protesting / I'm not even going to slash because I don't want to group up the protesting with the looting, because people need to understand that there's protesters and there's opportunist looters. Okay.
Absolutely.
And speaking to some people that were in protests and down in the hot zone, so to speak, some of the things that they saw were people that were not necessarily protesters, and we saw it on social media as well. People that were not necessarily protesters damaging property, egging people on angrily, in a sense. So,
I like to call them provocateurs.
Provocateurs. That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't. Thank you very much. See, that's why we do this. You're able to get that out.
You know what I'm saying? So what happens is, this protest, like I said, this protests all the time for centuries. You know what I'm saying? It's protest. But then they'll send in these agitators, these provocateurs, to infiltrate the movement or the protest, to take the focus off of why they're even there protesting. Mm-hmm. So now, nobody's talking about policy change. Everybody's just talking about the burning building.
Right.
Everybody's just talking about the looted store. You know what I mean? Everybody's just talking about the pepper spray and the whatever, and you know what I mean? They broke into this, or that's it. Nobody's the original point for being out there is now lost. And that's how they do. And if you go back through history, you'll find that. Even again, we can go back to Martin Luther King and the day he died and got shot, the day before, when the black college students were organizing a protest. That's why they were down there wearing the I am a man. You know what I mean? Because those black workers down there weren't being paid as equal to the white workers. So they were trying to get paid. That's why Martin went down to Memphis. That's why he was down there.
Right. Absolutely.
And they were wearing the, I am a man. So it was like, pay me like I'm a man. I'm not a boy. I'm a man. And they sent provocateurs in to infiltrate the students in their protests. And they just started violence. And it got lost.
Yes.
It all got lost.
I was told of a story. I was told of a story here in Philadelphia over the weekend. I don't know if you heard about this. With what was going on this weekend in Philadelphia, there was a couple, a Caucasian couple, that were provocateurs, so to speak. They said something about they talking about George Floyd in a negative light and everything like that, and really setting people off. And then they got away. I don't know how. This was just a story that I was told. They got away. Like, there were people chasing them, and they got away. But what they did their job. They did their job of getting people angry and getting their focus away from the original goal.
Listen, if we are in a standoff, you know what I mean? We don't care about dying. We ready to fight. We come in peace, but we ready to fight. And then the people we standing off with, the same. They come in peace, but they're ready to fight. We strap, they strap. Now, ain't nobody pulled a gun yet. Everybody just talking right now. We trying to figure out, how to squash the beef. Everybody just talking. But guess what happens? If one gun go off, all of them go off. Mm-hmm. All of them go off.
Yes.
If one gun goes off, all of them goes off. You know what I'm saying? We no longer, so we're trying to squash them. That's what a provocateur do. It's the one gun. That's what they do. I'm gonna just throw this brick through this. As soon as you hear the smash crash, it's on.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
As soon as that happens, it's on. It's on. As soon as we hear a loud bang, it's on. And that's that's how they know, man. How the human brain works and the human body works. They are 10, 20 steps ahead on this thing.
Absolutely. I was telling a friend they are playing chess in this game. They're playing chess. They know the moves that we're going to make before they make their move.
That's right. They play. And speaking of the game of chess, if you notice in the game of chess, the white king is trying to checkmate the black king. The white king gets to move first. The white pieces move first.
This is true.
Okay? So now with the white pieces moving first, the white pieces playing offense, defense, and the black pieces now playing defense, offense.
Yes.
So you're already behind.
Mm-hmm.
You're already behind. They playing chess and Monopoly. We ain't even in the game.
No.
we ain't even at the board. And they don't even have to worry about that no more. We're not even at the board. They done been knocked black folks' brain loose. And we don't know if we coming or going.
Here's my thought process on the things that were going on up until let me take you through the process and take you through my whole.
Yep.
So when the looting started, right? So the looting, I'm never an advocate of the looting or the violence. I'm never an advocate of that.
Mm-hmm.
However, with that being said, when these things were happening and where they were happening, I was thinking, okay, when it first started happening, I was thinking, okay, well, it's happening downtown, and the people that own these places downtown are either going to have to speak up because it's going to happen to them again, or they're going to move out of town. One or the other is going to have to happen. And then it became, and then it came out of downtown into the neighborhoods, so to speak, into my neighborhood where I live. Now I have neighbors. I have elderly neighbors that don't travel far. Now they're going to have to travel further. Now this neighborhood dollar is going outside the neighborhood, and that's where I said, you played right into their hands. You played right into their hands. Okay?
I think I might have said this before on our program to you that I'm smart enough to know that they'll kill their own mama to try to make me believe or trick me into believing that they're not after me.
Mm.
So of course they'll start it downtown. They make it look like, we not trying to do nothing to y'all. We're not trying to burn down y'all neighborhoods. We're gonna start right here with one of our own. We'll start right here in this, this place called downtown where we know white people own. We'll start right there. And then immediately like that, now it's into the hoods. It's up Germantown Avenue. It's up 52nd Street. It's on Lehigh Avenue. How did the protest get there? That man got killed. Well, I don't even know where George Floyd. I don't even know where it was. How did they get on Lehigh Avenue in Philadelphia?
Right.
How did they get on 52nd Street? How we destroying our own? We let these folks provoke and hype us up to destroy our own area where we are. Like I said, I don't have no problem with it. I mean, if that's what you feel, and go loot, ride, do whatever. I don't have no problem with either way it go. But at the end of the day, know that. At the end of the day, you better know that. And this ain't all for nothing. Something's about to happen. Go ahead.
Let me tell you one thing. Where I live, okay, for people that are outside of Philly listeners that don't know, it's City Line Avenue. Street here in Philadelphia. You're on one side of the city, you're in West Philly. You're on one other side of City Line Avenue. You're in Ardmore or whatever it's called. Everything ended at City Line Avenue. It did not cross City Line Avenue from the people I was just talking to today. Now, I did hear about some stuff, King of Prussia Mall. I heard about some stuff out in Glen Mills, Target, and some other places like that. But as far as the immediate stuff going on, it did not cross City Line Avenue. And I was out taking pictures at City Line Avenue today, and I would have to say I did not see anything on the other side of City Line Avenue.
That's right. They're not going to tear up Ardmore or a Lower Marion, or ain't gonna touch none of that stuff.
And here's the crazy thing about it. So my wife was out during the day, right? She was out that way. She went to the Target down City Line Avenue yesterday, right? Unbeknownst to her, we did not know that the Target had got hit Saturday night. It was closed up. She pulled up in the parking lot, thought she had hit the jackpot. She said, "Oh, there's nobody here. I'm gonna get in and out." As she got closer, that's when she realized that thing was boarded up. They hit City Line, hit Target. So then she had to go out to the county, out in Springfield, I think either by the mall or whatever. She had to hit the Target. And as she's coming back, she was going to pick up something to eat. Everything was closing. Things were closing early because of it, whether it would be to protect their employees that have to go back to where they got to go to, or because they thought they were going to get hit, whatever the case may be. I think it's because they thought they was going to get hit personally. They were closing everything early. Yeah,
and all this, it gets worse before it gets better. So all this leads into permanent shutdown, permanent closures. Mm-hmm. Well, now, if you ain't got no food in the house, you fitting to starve to death.
Right.
If you ain't got no food in the house, you fitting to starve to death. And we know people do not starve to death. They come to take your food. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is how you get mass murder.
Yeah,
this is how you get all the bodies you need to drop. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't watch for the hook. We haven't been taught to be, and the schools don't teach us how to think and look further down the road and be definite decision makers and be critical thinkers.
Right.
This is what happens. School doesn't teach you that.
Right.
All right, so this, you know what I mean? So this is where we at now. This is how we got here to where we at.
So,
so those, now let's say the white people that's, supposed to be joining the cause and they down there, protesting and rioting. How come they didn't do that in their own neighborhood? How come they left out of their element habitat and brought it down to ours? How come they could have protested right there in their own street to show solidarity? They could have stayed right there and did it. If they want to rip a Target down, rip your Target down, the one your mama go to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yeah. Rip your supermarket up, the one your daddy go to. Tear your sneaker stores up, the one your cousins and aunties go to get their shoe. How y'all come down to ours and help us tear ours up?
Well, first of all, let me just say this: those ain't ours anyway. In my thought process.
We don't own that. We don't have a community. We just got places where black people live. That's all. Right. It's not a community. So it's not ours. But I'm just saying, in our area.
Right. I know what you're saying, but I wanted to get that out of you there.
No, we don't have no community. There's not one black community in America. Not one. There's places where you see black people, predominantly black. We just. It's like renting a hotel room. You don't own it. And when you leave, you take what you brought and nothing else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a neighborhood. A hotel is essentially a neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You can rent in, and then when you leave, you leave with the shit you brought. You don't take anything else that you didn't bring there. Take your dining room set, but none of this is yours.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But just what I'm saying, in essence, that's our area. So you know what I'm saying? Why you come to kick my area over? And you already had an area like mine of your own. Why didn't you kick yours? If you felt the need that you wanted to throw a brick through something, why didn't you stay in your neighborhood and throw a brick through your own store?
Because they were going to have to go to their store the next day to get something. They knew that.
Okay.
I want to.
That's what I'm getting at. That's all I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm getting at.
I want to. Go ahead. Final thought on that. I want to shift gears real quick.
And now what happens is what? These are primed for renovation, gentrification, and privatization. Mm. They're going to make everything private now. Okay, now that we see how y'all act, now you won't be able to even cross this bridge or this street or come in this store because you ain't a member. Mm. This is private. This is private area, private property now.
And that's coming. You've seen it. South Philly, you've seen it. North Philly, you've seen it. West Philly, you've seen it.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay, this is private now. And now, great. That was free demolition. They didn't have to pay nobody to come demolish the building. Somebody demolished it for free. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to pay. They were already making no money for months. So now the store got free demolition and about to get free renovations because they got the stimulus check. They got all the money waiting for them already. They ain't had to pay no company to come burn it down. The people burned it up for them for free. And now they're going to build it 3 times as better. And now you ain't allowed in. Now you won't be allowed in.
2020 been one heck of a year, man. I want to shift gears just a little bit. Excuse me. At the top of the show, I mentioned Joe Biden and the comments he made. Of course, Joe Biden is the presumptive Democratic nominee for the for president of the United States. Presumptive because it hasn't been official yet. Actually, shoot, I think Pennsylvania's supposed to vote this week. Anyway, Joe Biden on the interview with Charlemagne basically said. Now there was an entire interview that was said. But I'm going to say the part that everyone's talking about. The part that he's talking about. I mean, the part that everyone has been talking about is when Joe Biden said that if you consider if you're voting for Donald Trump, you're not black. Joe Biden said this. Now, what led to that answer or what led to that response? Excuse me. Charlemagne asked him about a black agenda, basically what his plans were for the black community. And what I noticed is that really Joe Biden really kind of danced around the question in a sense. He really never answered the question with a definite, like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what my plan is. This is what I'm hoping to do. Nothing like that. He had a lot of stuff that he said he's done in the past, some of the stuff he's made mistakes with. And then he ended it all with, if you vote for Donald Trump, you're not black, talking directly to black folks. And I heard, I said, damn, that man is awful comfortable. Awful comfortable. And, you know, we made him that way, honestly. Let's be honest. We made him comfortable with us, in a sense. I feel like Joe Biden right now, and I've met Joe Biden's family. I've actually met his son, the one that passed away, Bo. Really, really nice person, man. Talked to him for, I don't know how long it was I talked to him. I mean, he made time for me when he didn't have it. I was just a guy working in the studio. But we were just talking, just busting it up, man. Real good dude. He passed away some years back, complications of cancer, but he was a real nice guy. But, you know, I tend to like Joe Biden's personality in a sense. I don't know him personally. I don't know his family personally either, but I've had conversations, like I said. But I feel like he's riding the wave of being the vice president of the first black president of the United States. And honestly, that's probably what I would do if I were a politician too. You got to use what you got to get what you want, right? But has Joe Biden gotten too comfortable, and is it our fault, in your opinion?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, that's our fault because we like to, you know, invite everybody to our allegorical cookouts and make people honorary black people just because they do negative shit.
We're a welcoming people.
Yeah, we don't. But, you know, here's our thing. We don't do, you know, invite white people to our cookouts and all this bull crap and give them honorary black passes because they're doing positive things or they're intelligent. No sooner as you hear a white person doing some ignorant crap or some, you know, some jigaboo jig shit, and then it's like, oh, he black, like Bill Clinton black because he played the saxophone and he smoked weed. That's all. That's all the qualifications.
They used to call him the first black president. Right.
Yeah. That's all. So that's all you need to qualify. And he got some head in the Oval Office. So this is all the qualifications you need to be black then. You know what I mean? Joe Biden, Uncle Joe, he was just a vice president to a black man, and all of a sudden he was black. He Uncle Joe. You don't know nothing about these people. You don't know none of the sick stuff they into that they do on a daily basis, but you're making them honorary black folks and just accepting them all for absolutely no reason. This is the mess we made. This is our fault. The mess we make, we make them feel this comfortable that they can say this. Okay? He never believed black person was intelligent anyway. All right? Did you ever see Barack Obama hanging with Joe Biden before they start running for presidency?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so how do you know these two even know each other?
Right.
For you to think that, he liked black people because he was the vice president to the black man. And it don't mean nothing. It's just a job. They don't even have to know each other. Show me where they was just growing, hanging out with each other before this, before they put themselves on the campaign trail.
No, in a sense, I mean, just like everybody else that's a politician, they were political rivals. Now, I don't even know if I should call it rivals, but they were politicians beforehand, and once they run for the same office, they become rivals in the eye of the media, in the eye of the public. They become rivals. But you know, for
you know what I'm saying, and that's I'm not even into it, man. I'm so far ahead of it, man. You know what I'm saying? I believe Donald Trump can't even read and write. I don't think he read or write. So who's writing these tweets? Who's writing these tweets? You know what I'm saying? Who's writing these tweets? If he's so stupid and ignorant, the man does that mean he can't read and write. He can't read and write. Who's writing these tweets?
Let's put it this way. Just because you may think or somebody may think he can't read doesn't mean he can't talk. It doesn't mean the words still ain't coming from him. It just means somebody else could be putting them out there. But that's an opinion, right?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He got people working for him 24/7. 100 people, writers, scripters, all that. He's an actor. He never had a government job a day in his life. His first government job is president. That should let you know about America.
Right.
That should let you know a lot.
Anybody can be the president of the United States.
Okay. If this is so precious land and so degraded, how come just any old bum could just walk in and get the job with no qualifications?
If you're able to raise the right kind of money, you can run for president. Think about that.
Why?
Think about how money.
Because money runs politics. Politics don't dictate the money. Money dictates the politics. You know what I'm saying? How could you do that? How could you do that? I need experience. Every time I go fill out an application, they ask me about my experience.
Yeah.
What's your experience in this field? You got a bachelor's, a master's? What you got? You can't even get this job without 2 years experience.
They only ask us that. Because apparently, side note, they didn't ask Jeffrey Epstein that.
Right. But I can have the top job of the world with no experience.
Mm-hmm.
With no experience. But if I wanted to mop a hospital, they ask me about my experience.
Yep.
But I can have the top job. So you live in a country with good schools and bad schools. That's another thing that should tell you about the place you live. You live in a country with good schools.
Think about this. Think about what you just said. Think about what you just said for a minute. If you wanted to go push a mop, they're going to ask you for your experience, and one person, one or maybe two people could be in charge of hiring you.
Yes.
You want to be president of the United States. You don't have to have experience in politics because the president's a politician. But the whole country, has to hire you, or at least the majority of which Donald Trump didn't get the majority. But the country has to decide if you're going to be hired or not.
If you're going to get hired, and they got hired with no experience, because money runs top. Okay, with no experience, man. Come on now. America, good schools and bad schools. What's that mean? So you mean to tell me a mile up the road there's a better school than the one that's a mile down the road? How did that happen? You should shut that one down, and if it's not a good school.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. I mean, and it's like that. It's like that a lot. It's
okay,
like that a
go
lot.
to Italy. Go to Italy. They don't have good schools and bad schools. Go to China. They don't have good schools and bad schools. All of them good. If it was bad, then they would shut it down. There's no need to have it. If it's bad, how do you have this? Parents trying to lobby and vying for a position to get their kid into a good school. All of them should be good.
Mm-hmm.
How is it? How is this? This is crazy. This is crazy, man.
It's crazy.
And it's what we call it. It's crazy.
It's the country that we live in. This is America. I was having a conversation with during the Friday Vibes morning show that I do. I was doing an Instagram live, and it's a friend of mine that I was talking to, and we know people that live outside of. Well, we know some people that live in Canada in particular, and we were talking about how, people always talk about they want to move out of the country, that have never really experienced being in another country outside of maybe being on vacation, right?
Mhm.
But we said we were going to ask this girl that we know that lives out in Canada. She was born and raised in Canada. Um, what things are really like. You know what I mean? What things are really like in Canada, because outside of the wintertime, I would love to live in Canada, right? But I don't know
Right.
that. I don't know that. But from what from some of the things that I've heard about the education, some things I've heard about healthcare and things of that nature, it seems like on the surface it would be a nice place to live. Maybe only Toronto. I don't know. Maybe only Montreal and Toronto. Who knows? Because I don't really know anything about Vancouver, and I don't really know much about Canada, period. But we tend to say that we would want to live in another country, but we ain't never been to that country, never experienced the
Right.
culture, really experienced the culture. Because if you go to another country on vacation and you stay on a resort, then
Yeah,
come
they
on,
take you to the good part. They don't take you to the bad part.
right? You're not experiencing the culture. You're experiencing the resort.
Right.
You know,
Right.
when I went to Jamaica I guess it was, I don't know how long ago it was, but it was maybe 7-8 years ago, maybe. I didn't stay on an all-inclusive resort. I left the resort to experience what was going on in the area I was in.
Outside of it.
Yeah,
Right.
and I don't see how you can really go to another country and not experience. Like, why wouldn't you want to experience the culture? Now, as we were traveling to the resort, which was an hour and a half away, we rode through some of these neighborhoods that were places that you wouldn't stay. Places that you wouldn't stay if you were on vacation.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm driving through neighborhoods where there's a barbershop, but the barbershop had no windows. Didn't have windows in it. You know, people were just walking around in the streets, dogs just out in the streets, chickens, whatever the case may be, just out in the street. But they don't get hit by the cars. They smart enough not to get hit. I'm talking about the animals, people too, but I'm talking about the animals in particular. They know how to stay away from that stuff. But I said all that to say that we live in probably the worst country, or the best country, or however you want to say it, in the world. We have our flaws. We have a lot of them. But there's no place else I'd rather be in this world outside of here in the United States, maybe outside of Toronto, Canada in the wintertime, outside of the wintertime. I can't speak on Africa. I've never been. I don't know what goes on in Africa. You know, the people say I want to go back to Africa. I've never been there. I don't know. I don't know how I would live there. You know, I've been to Mexico once, but I've been on a resort. I don't know. Okay? So let's understand that we need to fix our problems from within our own country, because this is where we are.
We were here first before everybody.
And we're going to be here. We're going to be here afterwards too, whether we get left here or whatever the case may be.
We are the only non-immigrant in the country. Everybody else is immigrants, and everybody else got compensated. Everybody else got benefits. That's what the Constitution is about. Okay, the Constitution is for immigrants. Benefits for immigrants. That's why they had to rewrite it and give us the 13th, 14th, and 15th, because we wasn't included into the Constitution.
Not included. You're absolutely right.
All right, the Constitution is white immigrant affirmative action, and the Supreme Court is the guardian of racism.
Next 5 minutes or so, because we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. But I was saving this for last. I know you. I know you. We've known each other for a few years now, more than a few years, I guess, if you think about it.
Right.
I know you're gonna have some fun with this one, and by fun I mean I know you're gonna have some things to say. Central Park Karen, whatever her name, whatever they were calling her. The woman in the park that called the police on the black man for telling her what to do.
Yeah.
So telling her to follow the rules, essentially. What were your thoughts and your reaction to that?
Laughter.
Let me tell you something before you get into it more. When I first saw it, the first person I thought of, I said, "Man, I can't wait to talk to Sean about this one. I can't wait." I can't wait to talk to him about this one. But go ahead. Let me go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
White people, it's the same way as religious people use God as a pit bull. And when religious people tell you you're going to hell, rebuke you and all this stuff, they use God as a pit bull. They don't use God to heal nobody or to make people good. They use God as a pit bull to sick them on people they don't like. It's the same way. There's nothing new. It's been going on for 1,000 years. White people is the same way. They know that this system is set up for them.
Mm-hmm.
They know that. All right, when they're born, when a white child is born, he got 90% of everything he's going to need to get him through life in America. The black child is born, he's born in the minus.
Yep.
Behind. So they already know it's woven into the fabric of America. That's what happened. They didn't teach her that in school in second grade. And if you see a black man, it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
They know the police belong to me. They're not on your side. They're on my side. So when I call them, they're going to come and take you away, scary black man.
Weaponizing the police force. That's what
okay.
She weaponized it. She knew what the possibilities were, and that's why she acted that way.
But that's from years of that happening, though.
Absolutely.
If the police pulled up and did, if they called and the police pulled up and did nothing, they'd stop calling. But the fact that when the police pull up, a black man goes out of there in cuffs or in the coffin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? You know what I'm saying? If that's like, if I'm your little cousin and every time somebody bully me or trying to do something to me on the block and I call you and you never come, at some point I just stop calling you because I know you're not going to come. And I'm not going to get the results that I was trying to get. The other people beat up. You know what I'm saying? Right. You never come. So I just stop calling. They're calling because that's what the cops come and black man dies or black man goes and comes.
Yeah.
All right.
Could you imagine if when she called the police, it was that police squad in Minnesota that came?
Listen, I'm smart enough to understand and know that thank God for camera phones and the internet.
Really?
All right, because even before this, even black people would say, "Oh well, if the cops killed his ass, he must have been doing something wrong." But now through these cameras, everybody around the world is saying black men ain't doing nothing wrong to be murdered. All around the world, they seeing this. That's why you got protests all around the world, right? All around the world, they are seeing that black men ain't doing nothing. For all these years, we thought that black men was, out there resisting and not complying and trying to take the cops' gun from them and all of this stuff the cops have been lying about for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, even black people would say in their house, when the news come on and the news people say another black man has been murdered by police, even black people now say, well, he must have was doing something wrong. But now through the through the camera phone and the internet, they seeing that ain't doing nothing wrong.
Right. That question will always come about, well, what did he do? He
ain't
do nothing. He ain't do nothing. And the crazy thing is, there would be witnesses out there that would say he didn't do nothing.
Yeah, and people still, black people still would say, oh, well, he must have been doing something if they killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been doing, as if you don't have all the history to all the questions, all the questions you got, the answers is there. All right, you wasn't doing nothing when they enslaved you.
Right.
You wasn't doing nothing when they was whipping the skin off your back and lynching you.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't doing nothing when they incarcerated you for no reason. When they was raping you and selling your children, you ain't doing nothing.
What you mean? But you must have been doing something.
Must have been doing something for them to just enslave you like that.
Right.
What did you do? You had to do something for them to rape you like that, for them to sell your children. What did you do?
You had to do something.
Nothing. You ain't did nothing. Because even we've been miseducated, misguided, led astray, and all of that stuff, man. And here we are. 2020. Still, with the same old moves that ain't got us nothing.
2020 has been a hell of a
year. Same old move. Okay, these people still want to march. Marching for what? For what? Why you want to march for what? For what? Policy. You want to get a cop to stop killing you? They're not killing you just because you black. They're killing you because you ain't got no economics back in your body.
Say it again, please.
You don't have no economical base back in your body.
People do not understand
that. Can't kill.
if these people, and that's what I was getting to earlier, and I don't want to go long on this point, but that's what I was getting to earlier when I was saying that when when they were tearing up stuff downtown, when they were tearing up stuff in Minnesota, those big shops in Minnesota, those big corporate stores in Minnesota, and wherever other city, when they were in Beverly Hills and out in California and all like that. These are the people. Unfortunately, these are the people that own these places that need to speak out.
Right.
Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because why do they have to speak out to make a difference for us? Because we're not being listened to. No matter what we do, we won't be listened to because, like you said, we don't have the economics to back it up. We just
to you, anybody that's listening. You think I'm lying? Okay. Here's how you know if you're educated or uneducated. Very simple. Do you produce anything? If the answer is no, then you are uneducated. You are a consumer, which means you are a useless eater. Nobody gives a damn about somebody who's not producing. Do you give a damn about your old ass son or your uncle that's been sleeping on your couch and ain't got no job? Ain't contributing to the bills, ain't producing no money, and you tell them what? Get out of my house, get out of here, get out, you bum. Why somebody gonna care about black people when you at the bottom? Don't nobody care about nobody at the bottom. This is why other groups don't come to our aid. You're at the bottom. They only use us to boost themselves. They use our struggles to get benefits for themselves. Hispanics, Arabs, Asians, whites, they all do it to us. They only use our struggles to get gain, and even right now in the LGBT community, they doing the same. Everybody run and step over black bodies and put their hand out and say, we'll take those benefits.
Yep, sure enough.
Okay, let's be real. Don't get emotional. Let's talk for real.
Sure
That's
enough.
what happens. Right now, black people are what they call useless eaters. What do you do with almost 50 million people that you no longer have use for? If you had a job, if you were an owner of a plantation or some type of warehouse and you had 300 workers and the warehouse about to shut down, what do you do with 300 people? You fire them. You lay them off. You let them go.
Still happens.
I no longer have use for you. Okay, I no longer have use for you. I got to let you go. But here's the problem with the way they no longer have use for you. They no longer have use for your body, period. Mm-hmm. You just, what they call taking up air in space. We could be using that space, that neighborhood y'all live in for ourselves. What do you do with 50 million black people? You don't have you kill them or you jail them and you make them work for free. That's it. Your kids, your children, you got children, you listening, you got children. I'm telling you right now. And you can take it or leave it. I don't care. You got children, your black children are going to live the rest of their lives as beggars or criminals. Why? You know why? Because you ain't produced nothing and you ain't built shit for them. You ain't got nothing. You can't hand down no job. Black man gonna try to tell me the other day, he a black conservative. I said, what you conserving? Welfare, public housing, unemployment, and slavery?
What was the response to that? I would have loved to have been there for that conversation. I'll tell you that right now.
The other four people that was there they just start cracking up and they just shaking it. He had no response because he thought he could hit me. He thought he had the wrong nigga that day. He thought he could just say something to me and I wasn't intelligent enough to break that down. I'm black and I'm a conservative. What you conserving? Welfare, unemployment, public housing, and slavery, and Jim Crow, semi-slavery? Because you ain't got nothing. Conserve, root word, conserve. That's why they're conservatives. They want to keep what they got and make sure you don't get it.
Right.
That's what a conservative does. I'm conserving what I have. All the land and wealth that I own, I'm conserving it and making sure they don't get a hold of it.
Right.
How you a black conservative? You ain't got nothing. That's like a broke person. Y'all go out to eat, 3 of your homies. He ain't got no money in his pocket talking about he conserving. Boy, you ain't got no money. But you conserving the lint. You can't be a conservative with nothing. You have to be conservative. You have to have something to conserve.
Exactly. Let me
you understand what I'm saying?
Let's get ready to wrap this up, man. And I wanted to put something out there that I saw. And I don't even know if this is possible. I don't know the schematics behind it or anything like that. But going back to George Floyd, to Breonna Taylor, to all the people that have been unlawfully murdered by the police, whether it be Eric Garner, Even Trayvon Martin, even though it wasn't a cop that killed him. All the people, so many names. It's so sad that there's so many names just within the past 8 years. Just within the past 8 years, so many names. Going all the way back to Amadou Diallo, beyond 8 years ago. So many people. But anyway, I saw something that said that when, you know, how they pay these settlements to these families, these $1 million settlements to these families of the victims that have been murdered. I saw something that said that should come out of the police pension, of the police pension pool, which I thought was a good idea. And the reason I thought that was a good idea is because right now we have a problem with, you know, the good police, because there are good police out there. You know, some people don't know that. There are police out there that are actually doing their job, doing what they're supposed to be doing. That would almost force them to weed out the bad police, because now you're messing with their money.
But you know, here's the thing. You know, if people don't understand, you know, we hear that all the time. You know, there's no such thing as a good cop. We hear that all the time. There's no such thing as a good cop, and people differ on that because, like you just said, well, there's cops that, you know, they're doing their job, and there are. But what is the job? What is the job? Right? So people are not saying that because they say that all cops kill people or all cops don't do their job, but they say there's no such thing as a good cop because the cops that aren't killing people are not telling on or reporting all of the nonsense that goes on in their precinct, in their district, and amongst their colleagues. They know who rape people.
And that's terrible.
Who shake people down. Right. They know who rape people, who shake people down, all the ill. Okay, first of all, to be a cop, that's the worst job on the planet. That's the most filthiest job anybody can take. I ask people all the time. I said, what type of white man with an education, morals, values, and principles would ever opt to take a job like that when he can obviously and apparently be president of the world with no experience? Okay, what type of white man would take the most filthiest job on the planet? One that wants to kill niggas that don't want to harass black people. Okay, and the black people that take the job, them niggas just need a job. Because they can't live at their mama house. And they need to pay mortgage and rent and have a girlfriend and take on dates.
Honestly, in my feeling, I feel like we need to have the ones from our community police our community. Honestly. Yeah,
we need our own force.
Absolutely.
We need our own force. So if you can't work for the enemy, that's the bad part about education. If your education ain't backed by economics, you'll end up working for your enemy.
Now, where I grew up, there when I coming up as a young coming up, all the police in my neighborhood were from the neighborhood, all of them.
Right. Now you don't know none of them.
I go back there now. I don't know not one of them, not a one.
Right.
And
you know what I'm saying? You can't. That's why people say that though. I'm tired of getting that confused. That's why people say that, and that's the only time we say that, because there's over 500,000 malpractice suits every year, but nobody ever feel the need to tell you there's good doctors out there.
Right.
There's good doctors out there. For some reason, deep down in your soul, you know a police ain't right. Go outside right now. Go get you a group of children. Go get you 4, 5, 6 children. Line them up in front of your house and say, all right, we're about to play a game of cops and robbers. Who wants to be the cops? Who wants to be the robbers? I guarantee you all them kids will raise their hand and say, we want to be the robbers, because the universe is telling them something is wrong with me being a cop.
Especially in this day and age. Especially right
Every
now.
last child will raise their hand and say, I want to be the robber. I played cops and robbers when I was a kid, and I always was the robber.
And
Someone was telling me it was better to be the robber than it was to be the cop, because they doing more dirt than everybody on the planet.
I want to give an example.
Suicide, they have the highest suicide rate among any occupation on the planet, except for military, because we know what type of filth they do. So these are the two jobs with the highest suicide rate, but they're supposed to be doing so much good out there in the world. How can people who doing good in the world kill themselves like this, unless they ain't being tortured at night in their dreams and they sleep about all the filth they do all day long, or all the nonsense and filth that they know about that they never say nothing, because in the name of paying your rent and sending your kids to private school? Okay? Why is 23 cops killing themselves a day? Why is 22 military killing themselves a day? If they out there doing good. I ain't never heard of nobody that's doing good that committed suicide. Ever. You going to have to kill Malcolm X, him commit suicide because he doing good. You going to have to kill Martin Luther King because he ain't out here doing good. Don't nobody that do good think about suicide. That's crazy. That number, the stuff is there. We just don't want to read it. And I'm tired of it, man. We just don't want to see what it is. Because, I got a family member. Imagine if I was telling you about a gang that was robbing, raping, pillaging the neighborhood, and you want to tell me about your family member that's in it. So they good because your nephew in it. No, they still bad. I don't care if your brother is in it. I don't care if your cousin is in it. Oh, they in the gang, so it's good. No, it ain't good. They rape, rob, and murder everybody in the neighborhood. But since your family member is a part of it, this shit is cool now. No, he ain't shit like the rest of them niggas in that gang. I don't care. I do not get this. Is why we still laugh, because we're afraid to admit the truth and face reality. And it's sickening, man. It's sickening. Why we just let another generation go to waste. These children finna be out here like they out here now because they ain't got no future. You want to raise your child talking about go to school and get a job. Well, the white man moved the job to China. Now what? Now what?
Do now?
I did what you told me to do, Mom. I did what you told me to do, Dad. The white man ain't got a job for himself. How you going to have a job for your little niggas? Ain't got no job for them niggas. You think white people sailed across the ocean blue in 1492 to set up a system that you could benefit from? They did it for themselves. You ain't nothing but the slave. And it's in the Constitution. All you going to be in that. And you want to tell your children about how these white people going to be nice to them and show them goodwill. They ain't never showed you goodwill nowhere in history. Maybe they ain't going to show it to you today. Why? Because you got a white friend, mama? You got a white co-worker? You think, hey, everything cool now? Shit ain't cool. Ain't never going to be cool. I just got 2 texts right now from the lunch ladies at Sharon Hill School, a predominantly black school. They're on Facebook talking about they wish Mayor Wilson Good would come back so they could bomb the protesters like they bombed the MOVE Act.
What?
Okay, these are the lunch ladies that feed your black children. These are the lunch. I'm sending to you. These are the lunch ladies at a predominantly white lunch ladies at a predominantly black school that said today they wish Mayor Wilson Good would come back so he could bomb these black people the same way he bombed the MOVE Act back in 1985.
What a lot of people don't know is Wilson Good actually was the fall guy for that. From the
Yes,
research
he
I
was.
did, he was the fall guy because
Yes.
he was the mayor.
Yes.
That
Yes,
call
he
came
was.
from another source to do that. I believe it was the
That's right.
was it the
First of
state
all,
was it the state
first of
police
all,
or something like that? I forgot.
First of all, the mayor don't make no calls about using no bombs that cost $1 million.
No.
Okay. All right, he black, so he definitely ain't getting to make no call about no bombs. Nigga, they'd lock him up first. Why are you calling about bombs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right? So this is what they still saying today in 2020. They wish they bombed you and your children. Meanwhile, you got them in there, your children in there smiling at them and being respectful and being nice to these filthy people. Okay, you got black people somewhere in their houses right now sitting their black sons down, having a conversation with them about how to act respectful when a racist, punk, pig, thug, cop that want to kill you, approach you. Be respectful, walk light, talk light. How you gonna tell your child that came out of you that you raised to respect some filth? You don't respect filth. I have no respect for no filth. Mom and Dad, you mean to tell me you talking to me about you just told your child they a criminal and they ain't never committed a crime in their life? That's what that conversation does to a black child's mind. I'm already guilty, Mom. I'm 8 years old. I ain't never stole nobody. I ain't never shot nobody. So why are you talking to me? Why are you having this conversation with me? Why don't you go tell the police if they even think about touching me, they going to have hell to pay. They families, how you going to torture their families and their children if they touch me? No, but you a coward, so you want to turn to an innocent black child and tell them, be respectful to a white person that may want to kill you. You don't respect nobody that want to kill you. You tell them, bring it on and see what happens to them. And that's why our children out here, these black kids don't see our future. So they might as well rob, loot, burn shit, and steal sneakers. Ain't no future for them anyway. Ain't no future for them. What they conserving? They gave up on life. The same way their parents gave up on life and their grandparents gave up and lost their will to live. Give upism.
I heard a song today. I heard a song today that said had a line that said winners don't give up on themselves. Winners don't quit.
Black people
gave up on themselves.
Lost the will to live. And that's why white people, the dominant society, got everything, and Hispanics is taking the rest, and Asians and Arabs is coming to take what's left. We gave up and handed it all over.
And I think
now you want to look out there and say, oh, they need to stop doing this and stop doing that. Stop. What they conserving about this whole thing? Ain't nothing for them. The white people out there, because it's just a thrill to just hop fences and run. And, they know they got bail money. It's nothing to them. I know mom's coming to get me. Dad actually sent me out here to have some fun because he was tired of looking at me in the house on quarantine. So I'm just out here acting like I'm down with this black struggle. I don't even know nothing about them. I'm just out here just trying to thrill seek. I'm just out here thrill seeking. But the black people out here, they really got to fight the fight, and they finna lose their life.
Yeah, we're definitely going through something out here that other people don't have to worry about going through. But
nobody, we are an exceptional people. There's nobody on this planet, there's nobody in this country that can match us in the things we went through. Nobody, nowhere. You take it how you want to take it. Nobody went through it, and I'm even talking about Caribbean blacks in them too. I don't compare to native blacks and foundational blacks. You do not compare. Okay, there's even different blacks amongst black groups. You're not a native black. You didn't go through what we went through on American soil. You from Jamaica, you from Barbados, you from over there, you from over there, but you ain't from right here, and you ain't go through what we go through. Everybody that y'all all come here on a nice airplane, comfy seat, and come here to get the benefits that all the black people had to die for and work hard for. And y'all don't show us no love. Nobody shows us no love. From the whites to the Arabs, to the Asians, the Hispanics, the Caribbeans, the Africans, I don't care who they is. When they come here, they getting for them, and that's it. They don't care about taking care of no native black people. They don't care. The Indians, they don't care. Nobody care. But when they going through something, we care about them. We'll fight for them. Civil rights movement got more rights for everybody else than it did for black people. Think about that. White women wasn't allowed to be pilots or stewardess back then. They could be stewardess, but you had to be beautiful. Like you had to be like a model. But now ugly white women got a job now because of the civil rights movement. Disabled people, why you think that flat part of the curb, when you walk up the curb and that flat part, civil rights movement put that part of the curb there. Mm-hmm. Okay, gays couldn't be this, couldn't be that. Women couldn't be police officers. Now there's women cops everywhere. That's civil rights movement, making that happen for everybody around the board. But when the board come around to us, everybody forget about us. Everybody forget about us. White women take up 80% of the affirmative action plan that was written for black people. They all just soak up benefits. And you can think that you got a white friend all you want to. I don't care if your daddy white. Nigga don't give a shit about you, nigga. He wants some black pussy. He got it. That's it. Done this story. I don't care. Don't care. It's in them. It's inside them. They don't care about you. They just want benefits. That's why they came here in 1400s. It's about benefits. And you are this labor. That's called a free benefit. What's the benefits of going to the new land? We got some free laborers for you to help you build your wealth. And that's called unequal exchange. Look that up. Unequal exchange. That's what they call black people, the unequal exchange. I'll give you some slaves. They can contribute to building, but they won't get any benefits. That's an unequal exchange. And we locked into that. We are woven into that fabric of unequal exchange. Back in the 1400s, they already laid that out. We're going to use these people and their children to help us build wealth. And that's what we've been doing for them. And we continue to do it for them right now. as we speak. We continuing to help them build more wealth to take the little bit that's left. So I don't know. I don't even know if it's too late. So like, it's too late. Too late to even be talking economics with black people right now. Like it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They've been your checkmate. They've been your checkmate. It's like a boxer still standing in the ring. The fight was last week. Boy, you lost. Why are you still here? The lights is out. The crowd is gone. The announcers, everybody going. Why are you still in the ring throwing punches at nothing?
Well, I think it's a good time to wrap this up, man. I think what you said is absolutely true. If you're not here to really get down on the get down, then what are you really here for? And
you're here for benefit. That's that.
That's what it is.
That's that. And guess what they use for them? Black energy, black bodies. We help boost everybody up to the top, except for ourselves. We down in the ditch, and we didn't help everybody climb out the ditch, and nobody threw the rope back down. Nobody threw the rope back down.
And there you
Shit
go
sound
right
like
there.
a bad barge, man.
There you go right there. Shout out the restaurant real quick.
Go Vegan Philly. You can look us up on Google. Go Vegan Philly, Conshohocken, PA.
What's the street?
Oh, Fayette. 401 Fayette Street.
Can't forget that. That's the important part.
Yeah, man, we can't forget that. You know what I'm saying? But it's to the point, man, I don't even care about that shit no more, man. Because I'm just watching black people just lost their will to live. Lost their will to live, man. And that's who I do everything for black people. I love black people, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, I ain't telling you to hate nobody else. You know what I'm saying? My love for me and my people, it should be. The same way white people should love white people and Hispanics should love Hispanics and Asians should love Asians. And, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean we can't get along. You should. I expect you to be self-preserving and love. You should. But for some reason, when I start to talk about black people and the things we need and our benefit, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you racist, oh, you hate white people. No, because when I love myself, white people become irrelevant, baby. Okay? When I love myself, everybody become irrelevant. I ain't thinking about them.
There you have it, man. Well, this has been yet another episode of Let's Not Argue. Definitely check us out on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Spotify, all that good stuff, man. You can check us out anytime on demand, and check us out on New Twist Radio, newtwistradio.com, and the New Twist Radio app. For Sean Thomas and myself,
yes, sir.
I want to thank y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Y'all be smart out there. Y'all be strong out there. We'll talk to y'all next time. We out of here. Peace.